Hey, what up, guys? Back with a quick video here. I'm going to make this very quick, short, and sweet. I'm going to try to answer the questions I got in the comments section. The first thing I wanted to cover is somebody asked me about the well, somebody mentioned something about taxes and insurance. And let me put it this way: the more you sell, the higher costs get. For example, Jungle Scout will increase your monthly or your yearly if you sell more, especially if it's keeping track of all your analytics for each sale. I just told them I don't want the tracking stuff for all the different sales I do. I do that myself. I actually have a tax software called Taxonomy that keeps track of all my sales, pulls out of Amazon, and actually sends that to my accountant. They can use QuickBooks. So that's a really good service, like 14 bucks a month. Highly recommend it. But I don't need the analytics of all my sales. I know what I sell. I generally know how many I have, and I keep track of my inventory on my own. So that's a tip if you want to save some money there. Insurance cost, liability insurance cost. If you do get insurance, and I highly recommend it when you get big enough to get that, if you get sued, they can take you for everything. Definitely get an LLC, I would recommend, simply because it covers you so they can't take your personal assets. You could always go bankrupt if somebody sued you, but if you build a company up and it's making good money, you want to have insurance. So the more you sell, the higher it gets. For me, I think they quoted me there's a base cost, and then it's like $4 for every 1,000 over that. So if you sell $400,000 worth, that's going to be like $1,600. So just consider that. But again, $1,600 plus their base, probably be like $5,000. If you sell like $400,000 worth, for example. Covering some other stuff real quick. Somebody asked me about reviews. How do you get quick reviews? I did cover this in one of my last videos, but review-wise, VPon, great way to get reviews. I did not use it for my last product. Early review program, $60, highly worth it. Gets you, I think, 5 or 6 reviews off the bat, and once they get that, it's done. So once you get, even if you get reviews organically, if you get 5 or 6, it's finished. But really great program. I highly recommend it. I do that with every launch. Early review program. If you're launching into a competitive market, like I had one item that I launched that 2 or 3 people launched with the same exact differentiation as me, and I was upset. I was furious. I was like, man, this is like, what are the chances? I found out my supplier was given the same differentiation to multiple people. So anyway, I feel like I won that war because I actually got more reviews much faster using VPon. I pushed it much harder with my PPC. And now I have 20, 30 some reviews, and they have 2 or 3, and they didn't sell hardly any. They were selling 1 or 2 a day. I was selling 14 a day. So PPC can be your differentiator sometimes as well. If people want the same product as you at the same time, you're gonna find that's gonna happen. You have to be very aggressive, in my opinion, in that case. But that's just me. So, review-wise, the Chrome extension, the Jungle Scout Chrome extension, now has a feature it implements into your Seller Central. Look it up if you are interested in doing that. I'd highly recommend it. It allows you to get reviews fast. You just click on a button and it sends out reviews for all your previous orders. I'd wait a couple days, send that out, and it'll send out an email to the customer asking for a review. Completely legit within terms and conditions until Amazon changes it. Previous to that, they had something where you could send out emails to the customer as well. Amazon suspended me for, I think, 30 days because it became against terms and conditions. So they change things all the time. You got to keep update on that. But right now, the Chrome extension, I believe, the Jungle Scout Chrome extension, I believe, is what you can use, and it implements it into your Seller Central account. It's an orange button. You just click it, and it just sends them all out. It's really nice. It'll get you more reviews faster. So the goal was to get, remember, as many views as you can get as fast as you can get. Because if you made a good product, your reviews should be good. And overall, you're always going to have some people that are unhappy, but overall, your reviews should be pretty good. So that's what I meant about putting out a good product. Somebody asked me a question about product insert. So you got to be careful with that. There's certain restrictions Amazon has. So, for example, if you were to in any way try to ask for a positive review, absolutely not, against terms and conditions. So if you can ask for a review, but you can't even try to manipulate it, and it's very subjective, but that's kind of what Amazon says. So, for example, if you say, I'm an American company, and can you please leave us a review at yada yada, well, they're like, okay, you're trying to manipulate it, saying you're an American company versus like a Chinese company. People are patriotic, they want to buy American. That's considered manipulation. So don't do that. You got to be very basic with it. I definitely do ask for a review. There's nothing wrong with that. You cannot ask for a positive review, and you cannot try to influence them. it again, it's very gray area. It's subjective. If you look up Amazon's terms, like their conditions on it, it will give you further information on that. I highly recommend you do that. And again, those things change all the time. But you can find that if you go into Seller Central, you search for inserts or card review, it'll come up. So I encourage you to read on Amazon's site instead of taking my word or anybody else's word for it. So I covered a lot there. Any other questions as far as like returns? Somebody asked me about returning to the manufacturer or the supplier. I've never done that. I did have one issue with one item where it kept having missing piece over and over again. And I think I ended up having to email him about it, message him about it like 4 or 5 times. And I was like, look, this is obviously an issue. The product's been missing how many times here? So it was like 5 or 6, 7, 8 times that this piece was missing. So eventually he just sent me a box of those pieces. So if I get that issue again, I just send them out piece through like USPS. It's easier than having to tell them to go through Amazon, and hopefully it'll save me from getting a bad review or an issue. Most of the time I tell them to contact Amazon. I am always very polite. I always take ownership of it. I was in customer service for 10 years. I did quality. Always be polite. Always take ownership. You may lose the battle, but you're going to win the war. Meaning, you don't want to have a bad review. You don't want to have customers have a negative review on your storefront or on your product. It's going to affect you negatively for the long term, much more than in the short term if you lose a little bit of money. I highly recommend you do it that way. That's what I recommend. I understand it's not fun to lose money, but it's going to lose you more money in the long run. You got to look at the long term. So hopefully it answers all your questions, guys. I know there's some other questions about differentiations, and I'll cover that more in depth in a longer video. I don't know that I can really cover that, and I have covered that, kind of what my strategy is. Get a bigger item with a bigger profit margin. Somebody said they're only seeing $68 return on their product. Well, you could still do okay. Like one product I have only gives me like a $5 return. That's the one I had to push really hard with PPC, and it's a lower priced item, like around $20. But it was hard. It's hard to make money on that, but it still makes me $700 a month, $800 a month. But the first order of 500, I lost money on that. I didn't start making money until the very end. And my next order, I did make money, and now I've been out for a while. I'm probably gonna have to push it again. So I'm not sure I'm gonna reorder it. We'll see how it goes. If it starts making me $500, $600, $700 a month again, then I'll do it. But yeah, there's a lot to it. I would go. That's why I like going with the bigger products. You can order less. You can order 200, and if you can get $15, $20 return or more, that's well worth it. I mean, think about that. You can lower your price even more. So if you're selling, there's one item I love. I just don't have the money right now, or the drive to do it at the moment. I have the drive. I just don't have the money because it's all tied up. But it's selling for as much as $100, $120. So you could probably get it for $30 to $50. You could, with the fees, you could easily have $40 to $50. I think probably $40 or more, probably more than that, to mess around with the price. So you can undercut your competitors if you've created a superior product, and you could break into that market. There's so much room there, right? So even if you're spending 30 or 40 and you're getting 25, 30 return, I'm okay with that. Because I'm getting, if I do 8, 10 sales a day, it's all about how much profit you're making. So don't always look at your margin. It's not always about your margin. It's about your return on investment, right? And it's about, do you have the cash flow to keep that going, and can that make you a profit? If you can sell 8 or 10 of those a day versus selling 20 and making a few bucks, it's not really worth it. Then you have more problems because you have more returns and more customer issues. Yeah, you get one return, it hurts on a bigger item, but you probably will have less. Now, if you're selling a ton of bigger items, it's even better. You're making a ton of money. But yeah, more you sell, the more problems you're going to have. Just the way it goes. So I hope that makes sense. I will go more in depth on product research. I'm going to try to do one when I can get some time when my family's not surrounding the living room, and I can go over those things with you, just what I'm looking for. I just kind of have a thing for what I look for. I like to see really high demand, and I like to see, even if it's medium competition, I'm okay. Or even if it's high competition, I'm okay with jumping into that sometimes. I need to see really high demand, though, so there's enough to go around. So if you differentiate your product right, you're going to get a piece of that pie. So those are my tips today, guys. I hope that helps. Any other questions, please let me know. If I missed your question, or if you have another question, please hit me up in the comments. All right, have a great day. Much love, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend and a great week coming ahead. All right, God bless. Bye.